Okay, so today in Autocad web app, we're going to be setting up line types. We're actually going to create a template file that from now on we'll be generating any new drawings from. So we're going to start by creating a new drawing. We're going to call it template. And I prefer to keep my units to imperial just because that's what all our practice drawings are done in. But if you really want to choose metric, at this point that's not a big deal. Click open. We'll let that file load. In the meantime, we're just going to take a quick look at the line types that we're going to use. So we've got 5 different line types here. There are others, but mainly these are the ones that we'll be using on a pretty regular basis, and honestly some more than others. The main 3 are object, hidden, and center. I was going to highlight those. There we go. And if we go across, you can choose the color. I recommend that they're all different colors. But the really critical part here is these 3 items, which are your line types. Okay. So I'll show you how to set those up in Autocad, and then we'll create our template file. Really simple, really easy. So go into Autocad, and sometimes it'll default to the Views tab, sometimes Properties, sometimes Layers. I think it really depends on what you were just recently working on. So what we're going to do is, so these line types are actually contained in layers, and we could have hundreds of layers in our drawing. So let's say I was drawing a classroom. I could draw the walls as one layer, I could draw the electrical as another layer, I could draw the plumbing as another layer, I could draw the furniture as one layer, I could draw just the tables as one layer and the seats separately. So you kind of get the idea. I could separate things out and I can turn layers on and off at will. The way I can kind of get different perspectives on different things. Or like for the electrician, I could print out just the electrical. For the plumber, I could print out just the plumbing, etc., etc. So that's the purpose of layers. We're just going to use just these 3 basic layers to start: object, hidden, and center. So we're going to start off by creating a new layer. And we're going to call object. So that's basically the main type of line that we've been drawing up until now. And I like to make it hot pink because I think it shows up against the black background really nicely for demonstration purposes. Then we're going to look at our layer properties. I want to make sure that we have selected our object layer. So you notice, like, I could change the object properties here, but still have the 0 layer selected. And if I have the 0 layer selected and I make changes down here, it'll actually only apply to the 0 layer. We need to apply any changes we're going to make right now to our object layer, so we want to make sure that that is the one that we have selected. So down here we can verify that by seeing the object name there. And our line type is going to be object continuous. Okay, so it's already at continuous, so we're good there. So we're just going to click new layer. I'm going to call the next one hidden. This is where we start to change things up. So again, I want to select the layer, and I'm going to change the color. I think I'm just going to make it yellow for now. And then again, want to verify that we are changing the properties of our hidden layer. Our line type now is going to be hidden. We click this drop down. We've got several options here, but one of them is just hidden. We'll just kind of leave it at that. And we like our line weight right where it's at. Then we will add a third one called center. New layer, center. We'll change the color, like this kind of light blue. Again, we want to make sure that's the selected one that we have. So let's click on center. Make sure that says center right here. And then we're going to go change our line type to, you guessed it, center. Okay, so now we have our 3 line types, and one thing you may want to do is kind of verify that they're working. So one of the best ways to do that is, let's just select object for now. We'll just draw like a 6-inch line, so 6 inches. Okay, you see we're zoomed way, way, way out, so we want to click our zoom extents button and zoom in a little bit. And we can just draw, we can select our hidden line and then draw a hidden line and make sure we're getting those dashes there. So right now we're not. I'm not quite sure about why. So let's go into our properties. That's why. So these lines, I'll show you why. These lines, if we look, I have both of them highlighted. It says our layer varies. That's okay because they're on different layers. We have 2 objects. Our line type is set to continuous. We want to make sure that that matches the color and set it to by layer. Okay. And so if the properties don't change, we want to make sure that everything is always set to bilayer. So if you're having an issue, that's one way to troubleshoot it. Go to properties and make sure that first the selected lines say bilayer for both color and line type. And second, make sure that when you don't have line selected, the line type that you're drawing with says bilayer as well. So we'll go back to layers and we'll select center. Go to properties and again make sure it says bilayer. And then we can draw a center line as well. This should be a series of short dashes and long dashes. So we can kind of see we've got our continuous line type here, which is our object line. We've got our hidden line here, and then we've got our center line as well. So with that, we can click Save. And now you've made your template file. So from now on, if I was going to draw a new file or a new drawing, what I would do is I would click Template, open that up, and then I click Save As, and we'll call it uBlock because that's going to be our next drawing. We'll call it uBlock 1 because I already have a uBlock drawing there, and click Save. Very good. That is how you set up your 3 main layers, and we will be adding the other layers later, but it's the same process.